Last time in Blancoverse, as Gohan and Piccolo head off to ask Whis about the angelic properties of his Blanco transformation, we rejoin Jiren and Toppo in Universe 11. Toppo has finally accepted the role as Destroyer and needs someone to take over as the leader of the Pride Troopers. Some hours later. A group of troopers calls out to Jiren. They've been looking for him. Toppo said there'll be a council to determine the next leader of the Pride Troopers. Does he know anything about it? And about who's involved and who the candidates are? But he doesn't. In fact, today's the first time he's even heard of this council. Which is strange to one of them and infuriating to another. The other elites must be purposely leaving Master Jiren out of the discussion. An accusation Jiren shuts down immediately, warning him not to think ill of their fellow troopers. Apologizing. Jiren admits he doesn't make himself available very often. It would be wise of them not to burden themselves with having to wait for his input on their decision-making process. Though it's argued Jiren should at least make sure they nominate him. He'd make a great leader. His fangirl from earlier reminds that a lot of the troopers think he's all brawn and no brains. If he becomes commander-in-chief, he can demonstrate leadership and more will respect him. Though he doesn't care about commanding respect, he'd rather show it. It's Toppo's will to have a successor chosen by the council independent of any third party. Walking off, he finishes that if he himself gets involved, he'd be going against his will. That would be disrespectful. They really shouldn't be thinking too much about this. For now, they should just enjoy the festivities. Just remember
to never lose sight of improving yourselves.
Passing Toppo, the Destroyer comments.
You know I saw you back there.
Was he really just meditating in the theater hall for 5 hours? Does he have no respect for the celebrations he's prepared? Only responding.
Toppo. I wasn't meditating. I was sleeping. If I was meditating, I'd probably cause some damage to the place. My presence alone is enough of a show of respect for these events. You should know I don't care much for these sort of things.
Catching up with him, Toppo believes there's no use in trying to get him to participate. At the same time, he doesn't seem to be in much of a rush to leave. Then why should he hurry? Jiren asks. But if he's gonna stick around, Toppo would like to have a chat with him. Asking where he's headed after this. Jiren tells he's going for a round of training on planet Susa. The environment there is quite unique. Somewhere Toppo's never heard of. And of course not. Jiren discovered it and named it himself. Well anyway, you've changed a lot over the past 3 years, Jiren. You've taken pupils, joined others in battle without them calling for you, and participated in our events, even if it's just your presence. A far cry from your lone wolf days, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess I've changed a bit,
he responds. So I was thinking. Then perhaps the next step in your progress is to take on a leadership role. Asking what he's saying. I was lying about the council thing. The truth is I haven't fully decided on a successor yet. I'm in the process of asking around those who I see have potential, if they are willing. From there, I'll narrow it down to who I think will make the best leader among them. I admire your seriousness, Jiren. I'm not just looking for a successor, but someone who can bring a fresh look to our organization. Your great power and potential also do a lot in your favor. So what do you say? Would you be willing to take leadership of the Pride Troopers? But no. Silence follows. Toppo's bewildered. He's not even going to consider it just for a moment. Jiren comments.
Actually, you're wrong, Toppo. I haven't changed. At the end of the Tournament of Power, Son Goku opened my eyes to the power of others. He taught me that solely relying on myself is not the only path to power. Others could help me become even stronger. That is what changed for me. But my sole goal in life has always been the same, and I will never lose sight of it. I have always, and always will, seek ultimate power. Because power is the only truth in this world, and that is an absolute fact. Leadership would only endow me with responsibilities that would distract me from this goal, so I must decline so I may continue to focus on my path. I hope you understand.
His opposite has to ask why though. Barring the angels, he might as well be the strongest in the universe already. Why continue to seek strength when you're already so strong? And that's something he can ask the Saiyans. Has he even been paying attention to the energies from Universe 7? But he hasn't. He doesn't think he can sense energy from that far away. So to put it simply, Goku and his allies have become exponentially stronger over the last 3 years. In fact, the power they displayed during the Tournament of Power is now insignificant. At least compared to what they can do now. What? Really? With that understood, Jiren knows he's far from being the strongest, and there is still much more to achieve. There's no reason to stop seeking strength. Reflecting on how amazing Universe 7 is. Toppo accepts Jiren's reasoning, telling him to walk his path of strength. He won't object if that's what he desires.
Coordinates are set. Uncharted system. CI-2160. MG. Planet Hawk.
That power. It's Goku's sons, I believe. It's different from the rest of their power-ups. The most peculiar thing about this one is that I feel like I felt this exact wavelength once before. Moreover, I remember that feeling comes from that time long ago. A part of me thinks it's insignificant somehow, but why that would be, I cannot fully remember. Now maybe it's just nothing. But I refuse to be uncertain. Slamming her hand down. Bulma and Gohan talk. The former explains how it's no use. Whis' communicator must be broken or something. She hasn't been able to get this thing to work since Gohan and the others fought the Red Ribbon Army. Wondering how they're gonna get there then. She questions if they're sure they don't want to use a spaceship. She can get one ready within the hour. But no way, that'll take weeks. Gohan's break ends in just 2 months. He can't be wasting so much time just traveling around space. It's such a shame though. They could get there themselves in 2 hours. The only problem is they can't breathe in space. Piccolo believes he has a workaround solution.
We could still use the ships, but instead of using propulsion, we can just push the ship from the inside with our power.
She worries, wouldn't that be kind of dangerous? You might damage the ship and risk getting stranded, or worse. Honestly, you should just wait. He'll probably come around in a day or two for Earth food anyway. Hedo taking off the welder's mask. He beckons why they don't just use spacesuits. The only problem is breathing, right? Something Bulma's surprised she didn't think of. He offers one of his own that he made in his spare time. Just place them in the center of their chest and press it. The suit will conform around their body. The oxygen only lasts for 12 hours, which should be more than enough for them. Happy with that, Gohan shakes his hand, chiming. Oh man, thanks a lot, kiddo. But the name's Hedo, and he's actually 3 years older than him. Blasting off. What can Whis tell our heroes about this Blanco form and its relationship to Ultra Instinct?